Hello, everybody, and welcome, welcome. My name is Joni Rampola. I am a registered licensed dietitian with Nutrition Coaching for You. And today we are talking about nutrition and fitness. So I am going to be speaking first, and then Terry Lind is going to be talking about the sitting disease, and Terry is from Destiny Management. So you will hear from both of us. I'm just going to be the one that kicks us off, but appreciate you being here with us. So, today we're going to be talking about a smart grocery cart and some savvy swaps that you can do to save money, to eat better, and to shop smarter. And again, my name is Joni, and I am just going to tell you a little bit about me before I get started, and doing that through some pictures. The first picture on the left there is me helping a customer in a grocery store, and that is because I do work in a grocery store, hence why I'm talking about grocery shopping today. I love public speaking. I love cooking, and this is my family sitting around the table enjoying a meal. And to me, that's a way I show love through nourishment and food. Cooking with some friends. I was in a cooking contest and we actually won, and that was my winning picture. And then I do cooking classes online, and that was one of my cooking classes, the bottom there. And then my business is Nutrition Coaching for You. And in that, I see clients virtually, one-on-one, or I do group coaching where we do education and coaching. Also do DNA genetic nutrition testing, helping people eat according to their genetics. All right, let's dive in. Enough about me now. So we're talking about a smart grocery cart. Why does this matter? Well, 70 to 80% of our food choices start at the grocery store, right? What you're going to eat for the week, you decide when you're shopping. So small swaps can have a big long-term impact on your health. Shopping habits influence the health more than willpower does. So if you're a smart shopper and get that cart loaded with good things, there's a really good chance that you'll have a good week and set yourself up for success. And it's not about being perfect. It's just, how do I be successful? And that's what we're going to talk about today. So, what is a smart cart? It's one that's balanced, and by balanced, meaning you have different food groups in there. It's budget conscious. Some people think healthy means expensive, and that's not what we're going for here. It's convenient, right? We don't want to load up on things that feel hard to do because that wouldn't make sense. It's nutrient dense. So, meaning I'm getting a lot of nutrition, vitamins, minerals, fiber, protein, all the things that my body needs in my shopping cart. So, a smart cart isn't all healthy foods, right? It includes what I call mouth pleasure foods, or foods that you enjoy, as well as those foods that fuel you. So, what are savvy swaps? The replacing something that's simple in the same category, but elevated nutrition. There's minimal sacrifice in taste, meaning you don't even really notice there's a change, not a drastic overhaul. So, it's kind of like the same vibe, but better support for your body. And a balanced diet is just getting some of the food groups. So, if I want to eat, you know, half of my plate fruits and vegetables, which is recommended, guess what has to be in your cart, right? Am I putting in fruits and vegetables in there as well? If I want a quarter my plate protein, I have to put some good healthy proteins in my cart. Same with whole grains or starches or a healthy fat. So you want to focus on just balancing the cart out, not perfection. And then just like to say something about shop the perimeter because I feel like so many people come to me and say that they heard shop the perimeter because that's where all the healthy food is. And that may be helpful, but it's not complete. There are so many healthy staples that exist in every aisle. So your beans, your canned tomatoes, your nuts, your seeds, your whole grains, like so many things that are good for you in all the aisles. I like to say follow the 80-20 rule for shopping, where you fill about 80% of your grocery cart are things that are nourishing your body and save that up to 20% for foods that are either super convenient or just mouth pleasure. They may not be giving me any nutrition, but they make my mouth happy. So for every 10 items you purchase, 8 of them should be nourishing you, foods that are better for you. If I want to save money, I like to think about value packs. And value packs are pretty much all over the store. You can purchase value packs, like if it's meat or something like that, and freeze some of the extra. So, meat, fish, poultry all come in value packs. So do our frozen fruits or vegetables or rice or oats, trying to show you that it's in every food group. You could find a value pack even if it's a non-food item, and here's one of like aluminum foil or dog food can come in the bigger containers, buy one, get one free. So when you buy a value pack, you may spend more now, but you save more overall. So that is definitely a benefit. And then I always hear people talk about, well, what about fresh versus frozen versus canned produce? And I do want to say they're all real food and all of them can be nutritious. Fresh, great flavor, great texture, especially when you choose in season. And local, it can be a lower cost and actually has the most nutrition when it's in season. Frozen, I love frozen for out of season or non-local types of produce. It's convenient. There's less to waste because it's not going to go bad this week. I can keep it, and use it next month if I want to, and it's still good. And frozen is often picked at the peak of ripeness and it's flash frozen, so frozen instantly, so it maintains all of its nutrition or even fresh if it traveled, from Chile, just say, travels a long way, it can lose some of its nutrition during its month-long journey over. And canned can be the most affordable pantry staple. It lasts the longest, so there's less waste. If you're looking at vegetables, look for low sodium or no added salt. And if you're looking at fruit, consider some no sugar added options or packed in water or its own juice. And they are the best for your body options. All right, if we're talking about grocery shopping, got to talk about how to read a food label. So, reading a food label, I always start with what's in blue, the serving size. Right? So all the information below is based on the serving size. So if this serving size is 1 cup, but I'm eating a cup and a half, I'm going to have to times all this information by 1.5. If I'm eating 2 cups, I'm going to have to times all this information by 2 to know, how many calories am I getting? How much fat am I getting, etc. So the serving size is important, and sometimes it's not equal to what our portion size actually is. So calories, if somebody's looking at calories, but then next, instead of the actual grams, I like to look at the daily values. So as a rule of thumb, if it's 5% or less, it's considered low. So, like here on this food label, sodium is 850 milligrams. If it were low, it would be under 140 because 140 milligrams is that 5%. So this one is 37%, which is 20% or more. So it's high in sodium. But the same goes for, let's say, calcium. There's 320 milligrams or 25%. So this is a good source of calcium. It's high in calcium, so that can be a good thing. There's no added sugar. It's low in added sugar, so that can be a good thing. And then in between that 5 and 20 would be, the 10 to 15% is kind of moderate. So if I look at fiber, there's 14% fiber, right? That's a nutrient that we want more of. So it's like moderate amount. It's not low, it's not high, it's kind of right in the middle. So that's just my overview of how to look at a food label and know what you're getting. So saturated fat, this is high in saturated fat. And maybe I'm worried about my heart and I want to cut down my level a little bit. So it's just good to get a feel and remember that 5% is low, 20% or more is high. And then to get the most for your money, rather than saying what's less expensive, 5.39 versus $8, you can look at the unit price or price by weight or volume and know for that price you're getting the best deal. Because sometimes overall dollar amount is hard to tell. And you can save with store brands. And there are many store brands that um, can have equal value, so they save you money, so they can be less expensive, but the quality or the value tends to be just as good. And this is just one example, not picking on any brand, but just to show this is in my store, like a real example. So on the left is the national brand, and their 10 count of dark chocolate peanut butter protein bars are 63 cents an ounce compared to a store brand. The peanut butter and dark chocolate protein bars come out to 33 cents an ounce. They have 15 count. So store brand, if you taste the products, it's kind of hard to tell the difference. Um, but yes, it's nice to know that you can save some money with store brands. Just try it first and make sure that it's right for you. And then I'm going to go through some swap categories, grains being the first one. So instead of white bread, can you try a whole grain bread? Because that adds a little bit more nutrition, a little bit more fiber. And while it's not that drastic in one slice of bread, when we're eating bread, we're normally eating more than one slice, and it adds up in a day. Instead of white rice, can it be brown rice or quinoa? Instead of a breakfast cereal that has a lot of sugar, can it be one that's lower sugar and higher in fiber? And the focus on fiber helps not only our gut health, but also helps you feel full and satisfied after that meal. So gradual swaps work best. We don't want to go from no fiber to high fiber because that could be gut upset. So going slow is usually the best process. And then Best Buys with grains. And these are just some ideas. A low sugar store brand cereal, whatever store you're in. And what I'm calling a lower sugar is less than 8 grams per serving. Oats are great, whole grain. Brown rice, you could buy it in bulk and it's really inexpensive if you buy a bulk one. 100% whole grain pasta or whole wheat pasta, or it could be even a bean pasta that may not be a grain, but bean pasta, all great, great substitutions for just white flour. For bread, a whole grain bread, or even something that's not a grain, but is a starch that kind of fills you up like a sweet potato. And then hydration. Got to stay hydrated, especially in the summer, right? We're sweating more, we're outside more, where the weather may be warm. So think about how you're staying hydrated. Instead of soda, can you try sparkling water to still get a little bit of bubbles in there, but change it up that you're not getting that much sugar? Instead of juice, can we eat a whole fruit to get some fiber in there or dilute the juice with a little bit of water or sparkling water? Instead of a sugary coffee drink, can you do your own lighter version? Make the same thing, but maybe a little bit less sugar? Liquid sugar adds up quickly, and that is because we don't get any sense of fullness from sugar that we drink. So if I drink two 20-ounce sodas in a day, I'll get like 500 calories. That doesn't usually slow me down from eating. I don't get full from that. If I ate a 500-calorie sandwich, I register, oh, I'm full. I'm not going to eat another 500-calorie sandwich, but when I drink a soda, I still eat the same amount of quantity. So hydration helps prevent the energy crash as well. Stay hydrated in the summer. All right, swap category protein, things to do for health. Think about the processed meats that you have. So that might be your deli meat, your bacon, your sausage. Not saying they're bad or evil, but if you could substitute one or two for a fresh cooked meat, better for your health. Regular ground beef, try a leaner ground beef or a turkey, ground turkey, or maybe even plant-based crumbles once in a while. See how that goes. Or if I do have to have regular ground beef, maybe adding some ground up mushroom to it, which sounds weird, but you honestly don't taste it. The seasoning and whatever you're making, tacos or meatballs or meatloaf. Um, you don't notice it, it adds nutrition. So you're adding vitamins, minerals, fiber, and lowering the saturated fat of the meal. Flavored yogurt instead of plain Greek yogurt. Just some ideas how to get some protein that are better for you. And these are some of the best buys in protein. So if you buy meat in a value pack, again, you pay more now, but it can save you more overall. When cooking, rather than having meat as the center of your plate, consider recipes such as a stew or soup or fajita or a casserole where the meat's in there, but it's not the center of the plate. It's kind of the extender. There's lots of veggies and other things in there that are filling you up. Replace meat with nutritious canned or dried beans or lentils or tofu or any kind of meatless meal. You can try that. Meat tends to be the most expensive thing on our plate. So substituting the protein, because you need the protein, can be helpful to the budget. Seeds, nuts, or nut butters can also be helpful. Consider Greek yogurt or maybe even eggs. And I like going to the aisle that has the canned or pouched tuna, salmon, chicken. Like I can get, $2 for that package of salmon where, it may be $8, $9 a pound going to the seafood case. So it's just a way to get the same nutrition packaged differently in a convenient way. And then dairy. And dairy is a controversial category because there is research saying that we digest the saturated fat in milk differently than we do in other food items. They call it the dairy matrix. So with dairy, I just say choose which dairy you prefer. But if you want to reduce saturated fat instead of whole milk, can you try a low fat milk or one of the fortified plant-based milks? Instead of ice cream, can you try frozen Greek yogurt or some toppings? Instead of heavy cream, try evaporated milk. But you want to remember protein, calcium, vitamin D. If I'm substituting dairy for something non-dairy, it may not have those components in it. So just to be aware, not saying good, bad, just to be aware. So you want to balance foods that satisfy you with your nutrition, like what's hitting your goals, but also feels right for you. All right, there are also convenience foods that can help. So some smart shortcuts count. And just some examples of a like better for you convenience food would be salad kits. I love the salad kits, whether it's just pre-washed lettuce or a whole salad kit. Um, Here's a picture of like broccoli, but whether it's broccoli or green beans or whatever the veggie is in a bag that comes trimmed and washed and just ready to throw on my sheet pan or, cook it however I'm cooking it. To me, that's a really big help. Frozen vegetables can even be great. Microwavable grains. I love that 90-second rice. And even though it is more expensive, so you're balancing convenience with expense, to me, it's perfect to throw in a, saute pan. I just throw in the whole bag with whatever I'm cooking, a stir fry, get my rice in there. Rotisserie chicken, if I don't have time to cook a chicken, it's a great option. Or pre-cut fruit. Sometimes, to buy five different kinds of fruit can be expensive and labor intensive to cut them all up. So to buy something that is already cut up for me, again, convenience, you're balancing price versus your time. So whichever works for you at the moment, but convenience isn't a failure. Some of the healthiest food is the food that you're willing to eat. So if convenience makes you eat more fruits, vegetables, protein, things that are better for you, I'm all for it. All right, so this happens to be a meal deal at my store, but it could be any store. All stores pretty much have that weekly ad or that circular or that flyer or what's on sale this week, whatever they're calling it. We have meal deals that are kind of like buy this, get this free at my store. Um, but sometimes stores will have buy one, get one, or buy two, get one. Clip coupons, which are like digital coupons that if you download their app, you get extra savings. There are bonus buys. Some have loyalty points where you can get, whether it's gas, cash your loyalty points in for gas or free groceries or something like that to really help you save money and plan ahead. And then just simply low prices. Like sometimes it's just, this rollback prices, as some call it. Like just sometimes you get look for the good deals. So I usually see what's on sale this week, and then those items on sale, I'll look for recipes specific to that. So the more you plan before you shop, the easier it is to balance your cart and find good things. Relabel strategically and or use, I have no idea what I was saying there. And or use something. But relabel strategically, buy convenience foods when it's going to make you eat healthier. Like sometimes just having it done for me is hitting the easy button and it's nice, and focus on balance. And by balance, meaning getting all of the food groups as much as you can. And progress beats perfection. Am I doing something and moving forward in what I do? And thank you. Cheers to creating a smart cart for your health. And this is my email address and my text phone number that you are welcome to contact me. I'd be happy to talk through anything with each of you. So thank you. And now I'm going to turn it over to Terry.
Thank you. Welcome, everyone. My name is Terry Lindy, and I have a four-year degree in physical education and a minor in business from Washington State University, and national certifications through American College of Sports Medicine, National Strength Coaches Association, among others. And I've been in the health and fitness industry for 37 plus years now, since 1987. So today we're going to talk about the sitting disease, which is turning into being a silent but significant threat to our health and productivity. We're going to try and explore practical strategies to help you counter a sedentary job and lifestyle and build a healthier, more resilient you. It's not just about feeling better, it's about performing better, both personally and professionally. So let's look at why this matters. The sitting disease is actually becoming an epidemic. It's not just a catchy phrase, it's recognized as a health epidemic. And we're talking about sedentary behavior being a distinct health risk, completely independent of how much you exercise outside of work. So the modern office worker now spends about 9 to 11 hours a day sitting, which triggers what we call metabolic slumber. And this isn't just uncomfortable, it's dangerous. It's a physical activity is now leading to preventable death worldwide, and it's rivaling smoking in its impact. But what are the risks other than just feeling stiff and sore? So, beyond the obvious aches and stiffness, prolonged sitting poses health risks by affecting your metabolism. It reduces insulin sensitivity and lowers your metabolism, which leads to weight gain and can significantly increase your risk for type 2 diabetes. There's also a structural strain. So, chronic sitting causes adaptive shortening of your hip flexors and contributes to a lower cross syndrome, which is a major driver for chronic back pain. And this is where opposing muscles, so your hip flexors and lower back, one tightens and one weakens. So, your hip flexors get tight, your glutes on the backside get weak, your lower back gets tight, and your abdominals in the front get weak. And these are systemic issues that impact your overall well being. Most people, over 70% now, experience back pain at some point in their life. And these health issues affect you not only during the week on the job, but then affect your weekend and your health and happiness as far as what you can be doing for your hobbies and enjoyment. So go ahead and go to the next slide, if you would. So it's a personal health crisis that we're dealing with a sitting disease. And if you're sitting for hours, having poor circulation to the brain can lead to brain fog, decreased cognitive performance, which will make you at higher risk for injury on the job. It's harder to focus and think clearly. And again, it also affects you going into the weekend. So it's not just about during the week that we're looking at this. Movement stimulates glucagon, which raises blood sugar, which is going to counteract these slower metabolic effects of sitting for long periods of time. And the musculoskeletal issues from poor posture are a primary reason for sick days, long term disabilities, again, injuries, feeling bad, headaches, all sorts of bad, not fun conditions that you're going to experience. So, what's the simplest way to counteract these? The golden rule, go to the next slide if you would, Joni, is the move every 30. So, we're trying to do some movement every 30 minutes. And it's not going to be much. It's just going to be for about 2 minutes at a time. Good example, Joni, just like that. All we're looking at is trying to get movement for a couple minutes every 30 minutes to break up the sitting and pick up your metabolism. So that can be raising your arms up and down. And it can, excuse me, we're also looking for postural alignment. So text neck is a big problem. Everything is forward and looking down now. And what this does to your cervical vertebrae, which is your neck, instead of having a natural arch, it flattens it out. And this causes all of your upper back musculature to become very tight. And over time, this leads to a lot of chronic neck, shoulder pain, as well as a lot of it can trigger a lot of headaches and for people that are prone, migraines. And again, it doesn't take much to counteract this. You're just looking at a couple minutes of movement every hour. And there are some useful things that can help with this, such as associating a movement with a habit you already do. Like every time you drink a sip of water, stand up, get some movement in, walk around. There are things that are called Pomodoro timers. And Pomo Focus is one, which you can customize and set with your computer to give you notifications so that it's a reminder to move periodically. Just stand up, walk around a little bit, get some stretching in, and that is going to prevent the metabolic slowdown. Now, there's going to be a few upper body, call them desk exercises, that you can do to counteract the negative effects of always looking forward and down. And these three are really good ones. Neck stretches are great. The chin tucks are actually going to work on strengthening your neck musculature and counteract that text neck of where the cervical vertebrae straightens out. And that's not lifting your chin, but it's thinking of pulling it back. So you're trying to pull the chin straight back and do contractions that way. Opening up the chest, pinching the shoulder blades back and down will help relieve tension on the upper back muscles. This main one is called the trapezius, and it'll help prevent rounded shoulders. So practice pinching the shoulder blades down and back, and these are all easy to do at the desk. And then slight rotational movements for your obliques, your sides, helping with your lower back. All of this helps maintain the proper alignment for your spine. Okay, go ahead and go to the next one. Some lower body desk exercise ones you can do are just straightening out the leg. And when you're doing this, trying to think of actually working and contracting the muscles. So when you straighten your leg, don't just straighten the leg, try and contract your quadriceps or your thighs so that you feel the muscle contracting. And you can do this for 10 repetitions, 5 repetitions, whatever you can fit in. Anytime you think about it, just straighten the leg, contract the muscles. Another one is when you're sitting, contract the glutes. So try and think of lifting yourself up and contracting your butt. Squeeze the glutes together. So you're actually strengthening, getting some blood flow to those muscles. When a muscle's contracted, it doesn't think that it's constantly being stretched and overstressed, so that it will the overload that goes into that muscle for a given time period and day is much less than if you're not doing these things periodically throughout the day. If you can, get up and do some desk squats. So just stand behind your chair, bend your knees, stand up and down. They don't have to be deep, full squats, but just little bends, bend the knees, straighten them, bend the knees, straighten them, up and down. It's going to boost your metabolism. It'll help pick up your energy. And again, it's going to alleviate stresses that go to the muscles that are tightening up during the day when you're sitting in one position. So let's look and see how to fit this into your day a little bit easier. So during meetings, if you can, get up and walk around. Phone calls, take walking phone calls, at least stand up, make little movements. Try and have made possible meetings where it's a walking meeting. If you live in an area where it's sunny and you can do this outdoors, that's a great way to do it. You can take stairs instead of the elevator during the day, park further away, walk more to get to the office, to your job, and away from it. And at least standing up and down a couple times during the hour. Go to get water. If you can, get a snack like Joni was recommending with good food choices. And all of these little activities during the day add up to big benefits long term. So if you were to do these once for one day, maybe not so much. But if you're doing these every day, 5 days a week, 6, 7 days a week, every week of the year, it all adds up and it's going to make a big difference for the quality of your life going forward. Now, ergonomics is a big one. If we would go to the next slide, Joni. So the 90-90-90 rule is a good one to go by. So if you can adjust your chair so that your hips and knees are set at 90 degrees, sitting up nice and tall, your screen is set so that you're looking straight ahead. So that's set at 90 degrees. And where you place your hands and arms at a computer are set at 90 degrees. So the elbow's 90 degrees. The hands aren't below the elbow or way above the elbow. So the 90-90-90 rule is a good one to build foundation, or get the foundation for ergonomics. Looking straight ahead is really big for the monitor because that's where you'll spend most of your time looking down on your phone or at the monitor. So if you have a way of lifting that up so that you're looking straight ahead, that's going to go make a huge difference for neck and back pain long term. Sitting on a stability ball at your computer or desk is a good way to force yourself to sit up tall, and you'll have to balance and get better posture to be able to stay on the ball. Getting a standing desk so that you have variety is also a great way to do this. If you were standing all day long, that's going to be as hard on the lower back and muscles as sitting all day long. One position is not what you're looking for. So you're looking at making changes. So being able to go from a sitting to a standing position periodically and not being stuck in one position all day long. If it's possible, if you are the owner of your business, lead by example. If you're not the owner, talk to your bosses, see if they'll get in on these habits with you and make it more of a culture at your workplace. So challenges are one way to do this that work really well to get people to build habits where possibly your company would set up rewards for you to get X amount of movement in during the day or the week or the month or however they want to do that. But wellness challenges go a long way. But talk to the people around you and see if they'll get on board with you. Once you try these things, you'll see the benefits, you'll feel the difference, and it will be like a success begets success type um, system where it'll become second nature after a few weeks of doing this. So let's look at an action plan that you can do over the next 24 hours. You don't have to overhaul your entire routine, but make small changes now. First, audit your day. Take a look and see what it looks like. How many hours are you actually sitting or being sedentary? And try and pinpoint times where you can make movements happen, where you can get up, go get a drink of water, stand up, do some squats, do the leg extensions, the glute squeezes, the chin tucks, whatever you can fit in. Don't feel that you have to do everything all at once. If you were to make one change per day and just build upon that, it's going to go a long way over the next few months. In your emails that you've been sent. Hopefully, you've received them. You'll have the handouts from both Joni and myself for these tips and the desk exercises to do. So let us know if you have any questions. And go ahead and go to the last slide, Joni. And remember, your health is your greatest asset. So it's an investment in you if you choose to do these things. Let us know if you have any questions, if you have any trouble fitting it into your day. I'd be glad to give you some ideas. You can follow blogs. We have a member area for resources. Joni has a ton of resources if you'd like to look at those and start moving today. So let's build the best you. Now, does anybody have any questions? If you do, please put them in the comments now.
Thank you. I'm going to stop sharing for a moment or stop the recording, stop sharing, and then we'll answer your questions. But thank you and take care. Stay on, please.